Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has lost the fans and he's lost the players. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has to be sacked now. Manchester United got thrashed 5-0 by Liverpool at Old Trafford yesterday. That was Liverpool's biggest ever win at Old Trafford. Liverpool were 4-0 up at half time. That's the first time ever a team has been 4-0 up at half time at Old Trafford. Obviously, fans were leaving the ground. After the game, Solskjaer did say that he's come too far to give up. So Solskjaer refuses to resign. Manchester United are now winless in their last 4 league games. Manchester United are sitting 7th in the Premier League after 9 games. Obviously, I've disregarded the title. I can't even see Manchester United finishing in the top 4 this season. And obviously, if we don't get Champions League football for next season, that's going to persuade our top players to go, such as Ronaldo, Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, even Varane, Sancho and all the rest of them. You know, how long has Solskjaer got now? I do reckon Solskjaer will be gone by Christmas. He definitely won't get until the end of this season. Solskjaer has no tactics. Paul Scholes recently said that. And I've told you before, one of my biggest concerns about Solskjaer is his decision making, because analysing the vast majority of the games he's managed at Man United, he's been tactically naive. And another concern about Ole is that he has no proven pedigree as a manager. He hasn't won a trophy yet as Manchester United manager, and he's been in charge for almost 3 years. Before Manchester United, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. He endured 2 spells with them, and before Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was terrible. Solskjaer is not going to win trophies as Manchester United manager. So I just think Solskjaer needs to do the right thing and resign. Solskjaer has run out of excuses. Revert back to what I've said on my recent videos, because Manchester United have got a very good team, but like people have been saying recently, it's a team of individuals. That's the problem. Plus, Manchester United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year, spent around £141 million. Obviously made 4 signings, obviously brought Sancho in, Varane, re-signed Ronaldo after 12 years and brought Tom Heaton in. Solskjaer received strong backing in the summer transfer window. You know, John Murtough backed him. John Murtough is our director of football, and we certainly made the right decision getting a director of football in, because I did mention that's one of the structural changes we needed at the club. And during the international break, Murtough said that we need to keep control and we will not deviate from the plan. You've got Darren Fletcher that also backs Solskjaer. Meg Woodward has also backed Solskjaer, Well, Woodward did say a long time ago that I'd back Solskjaer, and he assured that his job was safe even when we was enduring them bad periods. Woodward's leaving Manchester United. It got announced he was leaving back in April when that European Super League came into the equation. Richard Arnold will replace Ed Woodward in January as the vice chairman. And the Glazers surprisingly backed Solskjaer in the summer transfer window, but only because they'd been persuaded to. Because towards the end of last season, the Glazers were planning to scrap the Champions League for that European Super League. And reflecting on that, there was United fans protesting against the Glazers, but Ollie came out and revealed that the Glazers apologised. The Glazers have been at Manchester United for 16 years or so. They purchased the club for 500 million back in 2005. So there you go, and who will Manchester United's next manager be? I've been talking with you about Antonio Conte a lot recently. Antonio Conte demands to replace Solskjaer at Man United. Conte is interested in the Man United job. Before the Liverpool game, it actually said Conte wants a meeting with the Man United board. And it said Conte was waiting for a call from Man United. You know, Conte is available because he left Inter Milan at the end of last season. But there's a lot of United fans that are demanding him in. You know, Conte is a much better manager than Solskjaer. You know, Conte's got a good pedigree behind him, won a lot of silverware in his home nation, and when he was in his first season at Chelsea, won the Premier League. So he's managed in the Premier League before, which is beneficial. Well, earlier on this season, it said Conte would accept the Man United job if Solskjaer was sacked. But Conte made it clear that he wants a winning project. So reflecting on that, he rejected Arsenal and he rejected Tottenham. Manchester United are also interested in Zinedine Zidane. But the ex-Real Madrid boss is enjoying life away from football management. You know, there's quite a few United fans that want Zidane in. Well, the other week, reports from Spain said that Manchester United contacted Zinedine Zidane because of the recommendation of Cristiano Ronaldo. Brendan Rodgers, I'd also take him at Manchester United. You know, he's done well with Leicester, won the Charity Shield and FA Cup with them so far. He's been in charge of Leicester, I think, for almost 3 years now. Brendan Rodgers did enjoy one good season when he was Liverpool manager. He's a much better manager than Solskjaer. Not so long ago, Manchester United held talks with Erik ten Hag. Don't really know much about him, to be honest with you. But when Solskjaer does get sacked, he will be the 4th permanent manager to be sacked since Ferguson. Because 3 managers have already been sacked since Ferguson. We sacked Moyes, we sacked Van Gaal, and we sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United certainly made a mistake giving Solskjaer that new contract in the summer. He signed a new contract with the club until 2024. There's an option of a further year. You know, I'm really surprised that Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager, especially after that 5-0 drumming against Liverpool. I think that loss against Liverpool should be the end now for Solskjaer at Man United. But revert back to what I've said before, the reason he's still here is because he's a legend of the club. That's what's basically saved his job. Disregarding being a legend of the club, I can assure he wouldn't have been here now. But not all of the blame stems from Ollie. for our poor performances and, poor results. He's accountable for certain things, but there's also players that have got to take responsibility. These things I've got to credit Solskjaer for in certain aspects, like I've mentioned before. There's not all negativity regarding him. We have enjoyed good periods under Ollie, where we have seen consistency. Another positive regarding Solskjaer, I like the way he develops the youth. Some progress has been made under Ollie as well, because, in his first full season, got us to 3 semi-finals, and he got us a 3rd place finish in his first full season. So you can say he did well in his first full season, even though he didn't win anything. In Solskjaer's second full season at Man United, he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, the FA Cup quarter-final, and the Europa League final. That was his first major final as Man United manager, but unfortunately we didn't win it. Last season he got us a 2nd place finish. Don't forget as well, we went 29 games unbeaten away from home in the Premier League. It was Leicester that ended our 29-game unbeaten away run in the Premier League. But we've been far superior away from home than we have been at home. And I did say to you, at home, we've got to replicate what we're doing away from home. We've also extended a lot of players' contracts under Ollie as well. But you know what? I didn't expect Solskjaer to do as well as he has done. I expected him to do far worse. Because Ollie knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. And Ollie knew he had a lot to do when he came in. Ollie's managing one of the biggest clubs in the world, if not the biggest. But like I've said to you, Manchester United's squad is worth £805 million, something like that anyway. And it's a very good squad. It's a title winning squad, and like I've already said, in reality we should be winning the Premier League this season. We've got the best player in the world in Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo obviously played yesterday against Liverpool. Was lucky not to be sent off for kicking Curtis Jones. Ronaldo also had a disallowed goal. From my perspective, I think that goal should have stood because it was onside. Wouldn't have made a difference anyway. By the way, Ronaldo sent a message to the Manchester United dressing room. He's told his Man United teammates they are the ones to blame for the humiliation against Liverpool. Ronaldo obviously saved us against Atalanta. He scored the winning goal. It was a very good header, to be fair. Ronaldo also saved us against Villarreal. But Ronaldo has done well since he's re-signed. Ronaldo scored 6 goals in all competitions so far. Ronaldo played in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester the other week. For the vast majority of that game, he was anonymous. Don't forget, Ronaldo tried to storm off the pitch in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester, but Solskjaer stopped him. Prior to that game, Ronaldo informed Solskjaer that he wants to play in every single league game. After he was left on the bench in the draw with Everton before the international break. Don't forget, Ronaldo got named Premier League Player of the Month for September. We got Ronaldo for 19.8 million with add-ons included. He wears the number 7 shirt and he's under contract with Man United till 2023. There's also an option of a further year. You know, Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United. But we've got to stop relying on him all the time. He can't just keep saving Solskjaer. You know, you've got Marcus Rashford, that's also a good player. Rashford did play yesterday against Liverpool, he was poor yesterday. Unfortunately, you know, Rashford played an horrendous back pass to Salah. You know, and that could have been another goal to Liverpool, but luckily it wasn't. Rashford did have a chance in the game from long range, just went wide. But in his last two games, prior to the Liverpool game, Rashford did well because he scored against Atalanta and he also scored on his comeback in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester. Rashford did recently have a minor injury, so he was actually out for the game against Liverpool. Don't forget, Rashford was out with a shoulder injury for a while. And at one point he had to have an operation on his shoulder. Rashford has been part of the club for a long time. He's been a United player since the age of 7 and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. Rashford has got a contract with Man United until 2023. There's an option of a further year. Like I said, we need to keep Rashford on that left wing because that's where he's mostly effective. He's far superior on the left wing to the right wing and up top. And you've got Mason Greenwood. That's a good player as well. He did play yesterday against Liverpool. I thought he was our best player. Greenwood did actually have a good chance in the game, produced a good save from Alisson, but that's the only save Alisson had to make for the entire game. That just explains how poor Manchester United were. Greenwood played against Atalanta, he weren't too good in that one, didn't really create any opportunities. He scored a stunning goal though in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester. Greenwood's got 4 goals in the Premier League so far this season. Greenwood did go a long time without scoring, but despite that he's been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7 and last season Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. You've obviously got Edison Cavani, that's also good. Didn't start yesterday, came on, actually had a good chance, so really should have scored. Cavani will be leaving Manchester United next year, but I can't say I want him to leave with the impact he's made since he's come in. Cavani was out with injury earlier on this season. Cavani has got under a year left on his contract at Man United. Back in May, he signed that 1-year contract extension. Cavani receives over £200,000 a week. Cavani's got a good pedigree behind him. Won a lot of silverware when he was at PSG, and when he was at PSG he was a long-serving player. You've got Bruno Fernandes, that's also good. You know, he played yesterday in the 5-0 drumming against Liverpool. He was actually a doubt before the game, Fernandes, because he limped in training, but he played anyway. Fernandes had an early chance in the game, but skied it. Should have done much better with that. Fernandes did get 2 assists against Atalanta last week in the Champions League. He also got an assist for Mason Greenwood's goal in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester. So Fernandes is good at creating chances and he's good at scoring goals. You know, Bruno Fernandes is one of our best players and he's one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Fernandes has been a Manchester United player for almost 2 years now. Last season he won Player of the Year and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. We got Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Earlier on this season, he said Fernandes was close to signing a new 5-year contract with Man United worth £250,000 a week with the signing of Ronaldo. At the moment, Fernandes has got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. Earlier on this season, Fernandes made it clear that he wants to stay at Man United. You know, you've got Donny van de Beek. That's a good player, but he doesn't get in the team. You know, played no part against Liverpool yesterday, played no part against Atalanta, didn't start against Leicester. And I've said to you, Solskjaer needs to start Van der Beek, especially in the Premier League. Now, prior to the Liverpool game, Solskjaer did admit that Van der Beek is frustrated and disappointed over his situation at Old Trafford. I don't think Solskjaer wants Van der Beek. Earlier on this season, Van der Beek was furious with Solskjaer after he was left on the bench in Man United's win over Villarreal. So, reflecting on that, he said Van der Beek will try to force a January transfer away from Man United following his Villarreal meltdown. And earlier on this season, Van der Beek spoke about his Man United future in an exclusive interview with Ferdinand. Van der Beek told Solskjaer his best position, he reckons he'd be best served operating as a number 6 or as a number 8. Earlier on this season, Van der Beek's agent was said to be working hard on finding a new club for his client. Many clubs have been in for Van der Beek. Earlier on this season, Fabrizio Romano revealed that Van der Beek is planning to leave the club in January. You know, Van der Beek's endured a difficult 18 months at Man United. This season is his second full season. We've got Van der Beek for 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025 and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. You've obviously got Paul Pogba. That's a good player. Not only a good player, he's an imperative player. He didn't start yesterday against Liverpool. I can't understand why he didn't start. Solskjaer should have started Pogba. Anyway, Pogba came on and Pogba got sent off for that 2-footed challenge on Naby Keita. So obviously Pogba's not going to be available for the Tottenham game. He could get like a 2 or 3 match suspension. Pogba obviously didn't start against Atalanta, but he did come on and he made an impact in that one. He played in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester the other week. And after the 4-2 defeat to Leicester, Pogba came out and said that something needs to change at Manchester United. So reflecting on that, was Pogba demanding Solskjaer out? Anyway, Andy Mitten from The Athletic said a couple of weeks ago now, was it, that Manchester United offered Pogba £400,000 a week to stay at Manchester United. That would see Pogba become the second highest earner at the club. At the moment, Pogba receives 290 grand a week. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a Man United contract offer, and earlier on this season it said Pogba's very likely to leave Man United on a free next summer. But earlier on this season it said Pogba wants to stay at Man United, and even Paul Scholes backed him to stay. Quite a few clubs have been in for Pogba. Real Madrid have been in for him. His former club Juventus have been in for him. Don't forget, during the international break, Pogba refused to rule out a Juventus return. Pogba did admit that he always speaks to his ex-Juventus teammates, and Mino Raiola suggested earlier on this season that Pogba could return to Juventus. PSG have been in for Pogba. Don't forget, PSG are willing to offer him £500,000 a week if he decides to leave Man United next summer. Not so long ago, Pogba was offered to Barcelona, and Inter Milan have been in for him before. So, reflect on all of that, Pogba's had a long-running transfer saga. You know, this season is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid 89 million for him, and he's won 3 trophies at the club so far.
We had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. You've got Luke Shaw, that's a good left back, but I've got to say Luke Shaw's been out of form this season. Where's the Luke Shaw from last season? Because last season Luke Shaw was superb, and he was far superior last season to how he has been so far this season. There again, not so long ago, Shaw come back from minor injury and illness. You know, Shaw played in the loss to Liverpool yesterday. He was accountable for what, 2 or 3 of Liverpool's goals. One of Liverpool's goals, he got caught in a tussle with Harry Maguire. I'm sure as the season goes on, Luke Shaw will regain his form. Luke Shaw's been our first choice left back for a while, and he still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Telles. Shaw has had a good career at Man United despite the injuries he's had. He's been at Man United for like 7.5 years now, so he's been a long-serving player. Shaw's got under 2 years left on his contract. You know, Harry Maguire, yeah, he's good when he wants to be, but he's enjoyed an abysmal start to this season. Maguire came back from a calf injury not so long ago. Didn't he? Maguire, I'd say, was accountable for 2 of Liverpool's goals yesterday. Maguire played in the game against Atalanta, scored in that one, but failed to cover for Demiral's goal. Maguire played in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester, and he was abysmal in that one because he made some howlers. He shouldn't have played in that game against Leicester. I heavily criticised Solskjaer for playing him. Solskjaer rushed him back too soon. Maguire was out with ligament damage in his ankle towards the end of last season. We overpaid for Harry Maguire. We got him for 80 million. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and the second most expensive signing at the club behind Pogba. You know, you've got Raphael Varane, that's good. He's missing at the moment, no. He's got a groin injury. But it's still no excuse to lose to one of your biggest rivals 5-0 on your own patch as well. Varane's done well in most of the games he's played for Man United. He's had a couple of games where he's looked off the pace, obviously before he got that groin injury. You know, we got Varane in a deal worth 41 million with add-ons included. Man United paid, 34 million up front. Varane's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. Varane to Manchester United was official just before kick-off against Leeds, which was the opening day. Varane is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. You know, you've got Eric Bailly, that's a good centre-half, and I think at this moment in time, he should be getting in the team. Drop Lindelof and put Bailly there alongside Maguire. But Bailly's lost his place in the team because of the arrival of Varane in the summer transfer window. And like I've said, Solskjaer seems to prefer Lindelof. I can't understand why. My element of concern though about Eric Bailly is injury prone, so in that aspect is a liability. Towards the end of last season, Bailly signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There's an option of a further year. And you've got Wan-Bissaka, that's a good right back, but there's aspects of his game that need to improve. But despite that, he's still one of the best right backs we've had since Neville. Bissaka played yesterday against Liverpool, started the game well, made a couple of good interceptions and blocks and got forward well, but as the game went on, totally anonymous. You know, you've got De Gea, very good goalkeeper. Like I said, on the player ratings for the game against Liverpool, he was blameless for all 5 goals. If it weren't for De Gea, it would have been more than 5, put it that way. De Gea made some good saves. He made a good save to deny Trent, and he made 2 good saves to deny Salah and Firmino. And Dean Henderson, you know, he's also a good goalkeeper as well. I think Henderson wants to go out on loan though next year, obviously because De Gea reclaimed the #1 spot back. And you've got Jadon Sancho, that's good, but Sancho's enjoyed a very poor start to his Man United career. And reflecting on that, your United fans are starting to get on his back. Sancho obviously didn't play against Liverpool, but when Solskjaer's played him, he persistently plays him out of position. He puts him on the left wing. Yeah, he can play on the left wing, but he's far superior on the right wing. So there you go. That is a good squad. But revert back to what I said earlier, it's not playing as a team. If it had played as a team, it'd do well. But it's a team of individuals. You've got Chelsea, Liverpool and Man City and all that play as a team. That's why they're in a much better position than Manchester United at the moment. Anyway, we've still got hard games coming up. You know, Tottenham at the weekend away, difficult game. Man City in the league after Tottenham, difficult game. Arsenal and Chelsea, they're going to be difficult games as well. I can assure we're going to drop points in those games. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.